For decades, the tobacco industry sold an image of rugged independence and cool sophistication, but the reality was grim. Traditional smoking stained teeth, left a foul odor on clothes, and carried a heavy, well-known stigma. Then came the alternative. Marketed initially as a miraculous, clean off-ramp for adult smokers trying to quit, these new devices didn't smell like ash. They smelled like crème brûlée, cool cucumber, and mango. They also didn't look like cigarettes. Their sleek designs intentionally mimicked modern technology. Placed on a desk or tossed in a backpack, a vape blends right in, looking exactly like a standard USB flash drive. By blending in with everyday technology, these devices bypass the immediate visual cues that once triggered social and regulatory scrutiny, allowing a highly addictive habit to slip past our collective defenses. This chart reveals a massive contradiction in the adult off-ramp narrative. If these were strictly cessation tools, we wouldn't see this line. Starting around 2011, e-cigarette use among high school students exploded, resulting in a staggering 900% increase by 2015. The surge only accelerated. In a single year, between 2017 and 2018, youth usage spiked another 78%. This was fueled by a market saturated with over 15,500 kid-friendly flavors, from cotton candy to cherry crush. For a long time, the public ignored this trend. Parents and educators were lulled into a false sense of security by a pervasive myth, the idea that these devices produce nothing more than harmless water vapor. This shift from a niche adult tool to a widespread adolescent habit has created the largest unregulated mass science experiment on young people in modern history. Let's address that first myth directly. The widespread belief that exhaled vape clouds are just water vapor is entirely false. Inside the device, a battery superheats a liquid cartridge. This e-liquid usually consists of propylene glycol or a vegetable glycerin base, mixed with nicotine and chemical flavorings. When heated, this mixture does not evaporate into a harmless gas. Instead, it undergoes a physical change into a thick, dense aerosol. Unlike steam from a kettle, an aerosol is a suspension of fine liquid droplets and solid particles floating in the air, and suspended within those droplets are hidden payloads. Studies have detected heavy metals like lead, along with known toxic chemicals like formaldehyde, which are pulled directly into the lungs with every inhale. Under the guise of fruit-flavored clouds, users are unknowingly coating their deep lung tissue with microscopic industrial toxins that are linked to severe respiratory diseases and cancer. Then there is the second myth, the persistent marketing claim that e-cigarettes are highly effective tools for adults trying to quit traditional smoking. The data tells a different story. Studies show a vast majority of smokers who try vaping to kick their nicotine habit do not actually quit. Instead, they end up continuing to use both regular cigarettes and vapes, maintaining or even increasing their chemical dependency. This pie chart highlights the most damning statistic of all. When looking at high school demographics, 40% of young e-cigarette users had never smoked regular tobacco before picking up a vape. These devices are cultivating a massive population of new nicotine users who likely would have avoided tobacco altogether, attracting them with flavors and tech appeal. This leads us to the third myth. Because there is no visible tobacco leaf, people assume vaping is less addictive than traditional smoking. As highlighted in this text, a single Juul pod or standard flavor cartridge contains roughly the exact same amount of nicotine as an entire 20-pack of cigarettes. Furthermore, the hardware allows users to easily manipulate their dosage.
By increasing the device's voltage for a stronger hit, or simply purchasing extra-strength cartridges, users can ingest nicotine far more rapidly than they could by burning paper and leaves. Research suggests that the chemical grip of nicotine is intensely powerful, often comparing its dependency profile to hard drugs like heroin and cocaine. This delivery system optimized the addiction of smoking, creating a stealthy, high-potency method for establishing lifelong chemical dependency. The threat extends beyond the mechanics of the hardware. We have to look at the biological vulnerabilities of the primary users adopting these devices: teenagers. An adolescent brain is actively under construction well into a person's mid-20s. Introducing high doses of nicotine during this window physically rewires those neural pathways. This neural disruption causes real-world behavioral side effects. It negatively impacts memory and focus,
and doctors are seeing severe spikes in anxiety, irritability, and depression among young users. And the hardware is highly adaptable. Beyond nicotine, these devices are increasingly used as vectors for synthetic, mind-altering substances, including concentrated THC and synthetic drugs like flakka. This physiological interference targets the very center of a teenager's cognitive and emotional growth, creating damage that persists long. Because e-cigarettes were only introduced to the U.S. mass market in 2007, the 20-year epidemiological data detailing their true long-term physical damage simply does not exist yet. As seen in this California Tobacco 21 law notice, lawmakers and public health officials are actively scrambling to enact emergency measures, desperately trying to put the genie back in the bottle. While scientists debate whether e-cigarettes are marginally less toxic than burned tobacco for lifelong smokers, the medical consensus on youth is absolute. The use of any e-cigarette product is profoundly unsafe. The promise of a safe, high-tech alternative was a mirage designed to sell products. The rule is simple: if you don't already use tobacco, do not start vaping.